Europe, a continent renowned for its prosperity, its culture, its history. We picture cobbled streets, grand cathedrals, and bustling squares, but tucked away in the southeast corner, hidden from the glossy postcards, lies a different reality. This is Moldova, Europe's poorest nation. Moldova's story is not one of glitter and glamour. It's a story of hardship, of forgotten promises, of resilience in the face of despair. This small nation, landlocked between Romania and Ukraine, carries the weight of a turbulent past and an uncertain future. The scars of poverty are etched deep into the landscape. Crumbling infrastructure, neglected villages, and fields tilled with weary hands paint a picture far removed from the European dream. Yet, amidst the struggle, the spirit of the Moldovan people endures. This is a story that needs to be told. It's a story of a nation grappling with poverty, corruption, and geopolitical turmoil. It's a story of a people yearning for a brighter future. This is the story of Moldova's hidden crisis. Moldova's story is inextricably linked to its tumultuous past. Centuries of foreign rule have left their mark on this small nation, shaping its identity and sowing the seeds of its present-day struggles. The Ottoman Empire, the Russian Tsars, the Soviet regime, each power left its imprint on Moldova, exploiting its resources and manipulating its fate. This legacy of exploitation has created a deep-seated mistrust in authority and a vulnerability to external pressures. The echoes of this turbulent past resonate in Moldova's present. Corruption, a lack of accountability, and a culture of impunity can be traced back to these historical injustices. The Moldovan people have inherited a system rigged against them, where power and wealth are concentrated in the hands of a select few. Generations have grown up under the shadow of this legacy, their lives shaped by the decisions made in distant capitals. This historical context is crucial to understanding the challenges Moldova faces today, and the aspirations of its people for a more just and equitable future. The economic landscape of Moldova is a stark reflection of its troubled past and ongoing struggles. Ranked as Europe's poorest nation, Moldova's GDP per capita lags behind even Bolivia and Vietnam, painting a grim picture of economic hardship. The statistics speak volumes. Unemployment is rife, wages are meager, and opportunities for growth are scarce. Basic necessities like healthcare and education are severely underfunded, leaving citizens vulnerable and deprived of basic rights. A significant portion of the population relies on remittances from family members working abroad, often in low-wage jobs in Russia or Western Europe. These remittances provide a vital lifeline, but they also highlight the lack of opportunities within Moldova's own borders. The government's efforts to stimulate economic growth have been hampered by corruption, bureaucratic inefficiency, and a lack of foreign investment. This toxic mix of factors has created a vicious cycle of poverty, emigration, and despair. Moldova finds itself precariously positioned on the geopolitical chessboard, caught in a tug-of-war between East and West. This strategic vulnerability has further exacerbated its existing challenges, turning the country into a pawn in a larger game. On one side stands the European Union, dangling the promise of integration and economic assistance. On the other side looms Russia, wielding its influence through economic leverage and support for the breakaway region of Transnistria. This geopolitical tug-of-war has created a climate of uncertainty and instability, hindering Moldova's ability to chart its own course. The EU's promises often come with strings attached, while Russia's interference fuels separatism and undermines Moldova's sovereignty. Caught in this geopolitical crossfire, Moldova struggles to assert its independence and pursue its own national interests. This precarious position has real-world consequences for ordinary Moldovans, impacting their livelihoods, their security, and their hopes for the future. Section 5. The Stain of Corruption. Corruption is not just a problem in Moldova, it's a defining characteristic of the system itself. The blatant plundering of state resources, the lack of accountability, and the impunity enjoyed by the elite have eroded public trust and crippled the nation's development. The notorious 2014 bank fraud, where a staggering $1 billion vanished from the country's banking system, stands as a stark reminder of the depth of corruption within Moldova. This brazen theft, representing a significant chunk of the country's GDP, exposed the intertwined nature of political power and criminal enterprise. This pervasive culture of corruption has a corrosive effect on every aspect of Moldovan society. It discourages foreign investment, undermines the rule of law, and perpetuates a cycle of poverty and inequality. For ordinary Moldovans, it means navigating a system rigged against them, where access to basic services often depends on bribes and connections. The fight against corruption is not just about good governance, it's about restoring faith in the system, creating a level playing field, and giving hope to a disillusioned population. Section 6. A generation in limbo. The human cost of Moldova's hidden crisis is most acutely felt by its youth. Facing a bleak future in their own country, many young Moldovans are left with a heartbreaking choice: to stay and struggle or to leave in search of a better life. The lack of opportunities, the low wages, and the pervasive corruption have created a sense of hopelessness and disillusionment among Moldova's next generation. Many young people see no future for themselves in their own country, their dreams stifled by the harsh realities around them. Those who choose to stay often face the difficult choice of navigating the formal economy with its limited prospects, or venturing into the risky world of the shadow economy. Human trafficking, organ smuggling, and cybercrime offer illicit pathways to economic survival, but at a tremendous cost. This exodus of talent and ambition has a devastating impact on Moldova's future. It deprives the country of the very people who could drive its development and create a more prosperous future. Section 7. The frozen conflict. Adding another layer of complexity to Moldova's woes is the unresolved conflict in Transnistria. This narrow strip of land on Moldova's eastern border declared independence in 1990, igniting a brief but bloody war. Since then, Transnistria has existed in a state of legal limbo, internationally unrecognized but heavily supported by Russia, which maintains a military presence there. This frozen conflict serves as a constant source of tension and instability, hindering Moldova's efforts to move forward. The presence of Russian troops in Transnistria, against the wishes of the Moldovan government, represents a violation of the country's sovereignty. It also fuels separatist sentiments and hinders efforts to find a peaceful resolution to the conflict. The Transnistrian conflict is a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the human cost of unresolved conflicts. It serves as a drain on Moldova's already limited resources and hinders its ability to integrate fully into European structures. Section 8. An exodus of despair. The consequences of Moldova's hidden crisis are perhaps most poignantly illustrated by the mass exodus of its people. Faced with limited opportunities and a bleak outlook at home, millions of Moldovans have made the difficult decision to leave their homeland in search of a better life. This exodus of talent and ambition has had a devastating impact on Moldova, exacerbating its economic woes and creating a demographic crisis. Villages stand half-empty, schools struggle to fill their classrooms, and the country's workforce is depleted. The remittances sent back by those who have left provide a vital lifeline for many families, but they cannot compensate for the loss of human capital and the social fabric that is torn apart by emigration. The stories of families separated, of dreams put on hold, and of lives lived in transit paint a poignant picture of the human toll of Moldova's crisis. This mass exodus is a testament to the despair felt by many Moldovans and the urgent need for change. It underscores the need for international attention, for investment in the country's future, and for a renewed commitment to addressing the root causes of this crisis. Section 9. Seeds of Hope. Despite the overwhelming challenges, there is a glimmer of hope emerging in Moldova. A new generation of activists, journalists, and entrepreneurs is rising up, determined to break the cycle of corruption, poverty, and despair. Fueled by a desire for a better future, these grassroots movements are challenging the status quo, demanding accountability, and working to create a more just and equitable society. They are using social media to expose corruption, organizing protests to demand change, and establishing innovative businesses that create opportunities for themselves and their communities. These seeds of hope represent a powerful force for change in Moldova. They demonstrate the resilience of the human spirit, the yearning for a brighter future, and the power of collective action to challenge even the most entrenched systems of oppression. While the path ahead remains fraught with challenges, the emergence of these grassroots movements offers a glimmer of hope that change is possible. It serves as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can find a way to persevere and strive for a better tomorrow.